I'm your host, Peter Komendowski, and welcome to Surviving Bad, where we explore stories of survival, hope, and inspiration. Today we're talking about a journey some of our veterans take once home from the battlefields. The more we know about our veterans, the more we understand that the sacrifices they made need some time to heal. In fact, from battlefields to the healing fields is sort of a mantra for an organization called HERO Healing at English River Outfitters in Iowa. And Todd Hahn and Rod Courtney are here to talk about their mission as a nonprofit and why it's so important. Rod, Todd, welcome to the show. Todd, starting with you, tell us a little bit about why you're here and a grounding in what this organization is about.
Okay, my name is Todd Hahn. I'm the vice president of the HERO organization. I was brought on. Rod got a phone call from Rod as far as I'm a builder in the area, and I'm also a Navy veteran. I was a submariner. And so he brought me in to basically come in to see on the Heroes Lodge that they had started. And it kind of stalled out a little bit, partially because of the owner, Chuck Gertz, that had passed away. They're trying to fulfill his dream. So I came down, kind of met with him, kind of went through it, and being a builder that I am, I kind of was asked to take over the project, so I did. And as far as HERO itself, I think it's what we're building down here is going to be a great spot for veterans to be able to come, relax, fish, hunt, just be in the outdoors, and not feel the confines of like in an office space or something like that. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I came into the whole picture of everything.
You know, Rod, give us a little view of how this was founded, who founded it, and sort of what that core mission was about. Which is now about what 2000 and when was it founded?
Well, it actually started in 2008, and HERO had very kind of rudimentary beginnings. It was our founder, Chuck, Bowtie Gertz. He bought 33 acres down in Washington, Iowa, and put a small trailer up on it, and put it in a fire pit, and invited some hunters to go out and hunt. And I've heard some stories about the first hunt. It was like 10 degrees, and they had this little trailer. They had a small heater, and they had an amazing time. And again, along with the mission statement, part of that is to restore our veterans' strength and to reintegrate them back in society. And as the story goes, and what I've heard is that even in that kind of the cold and everything else, there's a camaraderie. There's that fellowship that veterans don't lose. And they could share, and they shared their experiences, and they walked away, and they felt better when they got done. And they did that up till from 2008 to, well, it was right at 2019. And then they started the bigger lodge. And unfortunately, in August of 2018, Chuck was coming back from a veterans event in Colorado, and he was riding his motorcycle and he crashed. And so things just went kind of sideways from there for a while because people were in mourning, and so we started the bigger lodge like in 2019, and 2020 hit, and so did COVID. So we're at a standstill. But now we're back to it, and things are going extremely well.
And for a lot of people, it's hard to understand that for a veteran, the world is a different place when you come back from combat.
Right.
Todd, how about from you? What have you felt from dealing with the veterans here is like the importance of really getting more and more people engaged in this and raising the capacity that you have? Because does it look like something that we really need to have?
Yeah, just the outpour of different veterans that's contacted me from all over the states. It's amazing. I live 25 miles from the lodge. I knew of the lodge, and I knew of what Heroes was trying to do, but I was never part of it. And I've got people from Arizona. I've got people from, literally all over that I've talked to that know of this, what Heroes is doing, and they think it's just an amazing thing. We had a big work day, and we had veterans, we had just other contractors that had came in they want this thing completed. Everyone, to me, just the fact that people can come down and just spend some time, quality time with other veterans, I haven't felt there's a brotherhood that I've always heard about, that I've been gone. I've been out of the service for 31 years, and I've heard about it, and you feel you're always missing something. I could never put my finger on exactly what it was to my wife. And then when I went down there and met with Rod and Mike and Deb and Janet, I came home and told her, I said, I found my place. It's amazing, just how comfortable veterans, we've had other events that we've met with other veterans, and they just can appreciate the fact that you've been through the same things that they've been through, or at least similar things.
These are great points. We're going to take a short break, and we come back. We're going to continue our conversation about healing at English River Outfitters. Heroes. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
While a lot is changing in our world, at MediaCom, our focus remains the same, making sure you have the fastest, most reliable connection possible. During this critical time, we know your needs are changing. You may be working or learning from home, relying on telemedicine, or finding new ways to keep everyone entertained. If you need more speed, call or go online, and MediaCom will double your speed immediately for as low as $10 more a month for 1 year. Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening, our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and MediaCom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back to Surviving Bad. I'm your host, Peter Komendowski, and we're talking with Todd and Rod about some of the challenges our veterans face, some inspiring work being done by Iowans to help our heroes heal, and specifically how a group of veterans are coming together to help build up English River Outfitters, a sanctuary that they've created and are building to give them a place to go and a place to heal. Rod, you got some great stuff happening out there. Tell us how some of these guys are pitching in, and gals, I presume, to help build this place up.
Oh, absolutely. And it's, I think Todd alluded to this a little bit earlier. It's like when you start hanging out and working with veterans and fellow veterans, and not everybody's coming down as a veteran, by the way. There's an enormous amount of people out there that just love veterans and respect veterans. So to be able to be down there and to take part of that and to share, and there's a fair amount of teasing that goes on because between the branches of the service, and there's kind of that type of thing that takes place that I think puts you back in that mindset. For me, sometimes it's kind of like I got out in 1976, and it kind of takes me back. It takes me back to a time that I felt a lot of pride. I was proud to be in the middle. I was proud to serve my country. And you get to feel that, and you get to be with like thinkers. And such a huge piece of Heroes' philosophy is there's healing in nature. And we still want to build on that. I mean, there's the hunting, there's the fishing, but there's also, sometimes just sitting around a campfire poking it with a stick. There's that, just the being outdoors, or just the being able to build on the piece of getting back to nature. I mean, there's so much to talk about the healing. We have plans for people to come in and actually do like nature work, it's called too. It's like, and I read a book, and I forget the author, but it's called The 3-Day Effect, and it's actually got some evidence-based structure to the idea that if you have somebody outside for 3 days, there's a healing that takes place, physically, mentally, spiritually, just a very holistic approach to being able to do that. So we're so in the beginning stages. We're building and rebuilding, and we've had tremendous amount of support from Veterans Affairs, the Veterans Hospital, just right on down the board. We're going to have peer support training coming up, where it's that necessary piece of how do you interact with a veteran that's maybe, we hear 22 a day all the time, and I don't know if it's 22 veterans every day, but roughly we lose 22 veterans a day to suicide. If somebody can sit down and talk with a veteran for 20 minutes and change that, our mission is accomplished. So,
I have a question for you, because I noticed from both Todd and Rod, both of you have given me the impression that when you get back, there's some kind of unfinished business. And it's not something you can put your finger on, but Todd talked about finding a sense of completeness getting out there. And you talk about people finding that space where they feel comfortable with themselves again and with other people. This is something indigenous to veterans, probably. Is it in things that they talk about? Is it something that is a concern that, how you've changed from being out in the battlefields and coming back to the States? Because it looks like that's the part you're working on, where people are trying to get a grip on this.
Well, I think some things are just when the men and women get back, it's like they still have the military. There's so much structure in the military, and there's just, you do it their way. And when you come back, the rest of the world is, to me, not in tune with that. And so for them to be able to come back and actually get a sit and talk to, like, some of this has been out for a while, and you can actually let them know that what they're feeling, what they're going through is normal. And the ones that have, might have the PTSD, that might have, there's just such a range of issues, that it's okay. They're not on this alone. We're here to help, just walk them through this process, and just to be them to not really just them to know that they're not alone, and that they're talking with someone that literally has been through and has done not even what they've done while they served, but when they got out, having the same feelings. I mean, to me, you are, whether people want to admit it or not, you're kind of almost at a loss a little bit, because the world runs at a different pace. They have a different thoughts than what you do when you're serving active duty. There's just a difference. And I'll be honest, it took me a while. It took me 31 years to really understand when people say the brotherhood. It's just to be able to sit and talk with the veterans that have came through already since I've been part of this. And we have so many similar stories on even just how to, how do you react to certain things? How do you even act when the people around you don't understand at all what you've been through? I was never on the battlefield, but I was underwater the whole, what I mean? I don't know. I could just say, just having the understanding that they can sit and vent and process and know that what they're feeling is okay, and that what they're feeling, they will get past it.
Well, when I call the battlefield, I mean, really the whole arena. Everybody's tied together with different responsibilities in different places. And I might say that it'd be scarier for me to be in a sub than it might be getting shot at. I don't know. But anyway, these are really, really good points. And I'd like to take a short break and invite you guys back to talk about some of the programs you're working on, and maybe some testimonies to the nature of the work and what drives your passion. See you all after the break. You don't want to miss this.
Today, more than ever, you need fast, reliable internet. At MediaCom, we want you to know you can count on us. Our fiber-powered 100% gigabit technology network was built for the future. We have enormous capacity and power, and 99.99% network reliability. So even though these are uncertain times, we're prepared, and you can be certain we'll keep your world connected.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to Surviving Bad. We're talking with Todd and Rod from Healing at English River Outfitters, called Heroes, and about the work they do with veterans and the programs that they're trying to put together, and maybe a little bit about the help they need to make this a reality. You know, Todd, starting with you, what's some of the exciting stuff going on out there?
Right now we're working on the lodge, and the lodge, when it gets completed, we'll be able to open up to a whole gamut of different ideas that we're coming up with trying to help veterans. And like Rod said, you know, we're here to try to hit the specific needs of each veteran, because each veteran has such different needs. You know, it's just the area of the outdoors, the you know, set by the campfire, like what we talked about. And Rod's got, we've got a number of other programs that we're in the works of getting up and rolling. The lodge, that's kind of my thing, is the build. But the lodge itself is going to be just huge in being able to continue with all these different programs. We'll be able to have programs down at the lodge. We've got other veteran organizations that have already asked as far as using the lodge for their different meeting sites. And like I said, I'll pass this on to Rod as far as the specifics that we're doing on upcoming different programs that we're working on right now.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. The basis of this, and what I like to place a couple things on, is meeting the veteran where they're at, because every veteran is going to have different needs, and being able to identify what those needs are, and then from there, once they tell us what they need, you know, maybe somebody's just going to say, "Hey, I need a weekend away with my family. You know, I need to go down to your guys' pond and fish and hang out. I just need to decompress a little bit." And the next veteran's going to say, you know, I've had some suicidal ideation. You know, I'm really in a tough spot. So we're going to meet with them, and we're going to, you know, from that point on, you know, part of what we're going to do with is have a peer support training. So we're going to know where we're at, you know, what's in our wheelhouse, how far do we go, and then I'm fortunate enough, and a lot of people are fortunate enough to know the resources that are out there for veterans that can move on from that point, to be able to, you know, keep them safe, to be able to, you know, to process whatever they need to process. It's a matter of doing things with veterans, not at veterans. I think so many of us had things done at us, you know, and a lot of what happens is it's kind of, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it's kind of it's a little bit disempowering. I mean, you're in a very powerful position, but it's a little bit disempowering because you're told when to get up, you're told when to eat, you're told, I mean, it just kind of goes like that, you know, right on down the line. There's a huge need in military sexual trauma, and to be able to talk to the right people to train us as a staff. What happens, you know, how do you handle military sexual trauma? So there's a suicide, there's a military sexual trauma. And then, you know, there's also just the part of it that's just nice. You know, it's like be able to come down. We got 5 rooms, 5 baths. We got kind of a primitive lodge that people can stay, that they can stay at. And, you know, maybe a veteran wants to have his daughter's wedding, you know, because it's going to be a beautiful area. It already is a beautiful area, but it's going to be, you know, a more beautiful area. Veterans Administration has been amazing. The Community Mental Health Access Center in Cedar Rapids has been a crazy good support. You know, they're noticing there's more and more veterans coming through, and they want to be able to have somebody on hand. Hopefully Hero can work itself into a position where our peer support can go when a veteran comes through the Mental Health Access Center and be able to help them through services. So it's you know, it's huge. You know, it so many ways it's simple, but it's going to have such a huge impact.
You know, it's fascinating too, because, you know, I love being outdoors, fishing, hunting. You know, these are all great things we grow up with. And it is a fact that nature has tremendous healing powers. If you're overweight, you spend more time out in nature and walking, your weight will come down. If you have more exercise, be outside, even going fishing and things like that, your blood pressure will drop, your blood sugar will improve. I mean, so we know physically it helps, and we're seeing, as you pointed out, that mentally it helps. So having a common place built around nature, that campfire, so to speak, is just a fascinating idea. How hard is it, though? Because, as you said, every veteran is different. So there's got to be some kind of sorting as to how these programs, give the person what they need without giving them too much. Not everybody wants to be around a large group of people or singing Kumbaya, and other ones want to be, have a little bit more relaxed atmosphere. How do you sort that out, looking at the people that come to English River Outfitters?
Some of it,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think some of it is asking. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, like I said, some of them don't mind sitting around talking with other brothers and sisters. Other ones, they want to have a one-on-one. They don't want to be exposed yet, and they may end up sitting, like I said, the whole campfire, you're sitting around, everybody talking might just free it up. And my big thing is even with their families, sitting around, kids, spouses sitting there cooking a hot dog, just relaxing, and then having either the father or the mother start opening up, and it is such a healing for the entire family, not just the veteran.
And it's really, it sounds like you're creating a very safe place for veterans and their families.
Very much so.
We're going to take a short break and invite you guys both back to share some final comments, insights, and even advice for people. See you all after the break. You don't want to miss this.
Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening, our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and MediaCom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
Welcome back to Surviving Bad. Today we're talking about the challenges our veterans face when they return home from the battlefields and the process of healing at English River Outfitters. Let's see what advice and insights our guests have to share. Rod, let's start with you.
Well, healing comes in a lot of different ways. And what I would probably say is I see every veteran that I have opportunity to cross paths with as the expert. You have your history. You know what you need. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit of process to maybe get comfortable with sharing that and find the right person to be able to share that with. And I guess this probably gets said so much it almost sounds cliches, but reach out. There's no shame in reaching out. And if it's a veteran or a veteran family member and you have concerns, and it doesn't have to be English River Outfitters. I mean, there's numbers, there's outreach centers across the state. You can start with the VA, reach out and share, because this is such a reciprocal process, in your sharing and you're reaching out and being able to tell your story, somebody else is going to hear something. So it's very reciprocal. I mean, it's a give and take, and it's double-edged. So I'd say that, come down and volunteer with us, spend some time just like that. Just give us a call. I mean, to check the Facebook page out. That phone number on the Facebook page is my cell phone number, and it's open all the time. My phone is always on. If I don't have an answer, if you just need somebody, but if not, I can find the right resource and referral. So I think I'll kind of turn it back over to Todd and see if he has anything he wants to offer up.
Todd, I got a question for you. It's actually a question for both, but we'll start with you. Okay. You said that you were out 31 years before you found that sense of completeness that you got at English River Outfitters. So what if you could go back in time to the younger Todd 30 years ago? There's a lot of guys out there getting back from the service now, and we probably don't want them to wait 20 or 30 years to realize that something like this would be good? What would you tell yourself going back in time 30 years ago when you were a young buck, probably feeling tough enough to overcome anything?
Actually, the funny part is my younger brother just retired from the Navy on submarines as well. And I see, and I've told him, hang on to all the stuff. You know, I said, you may not be ready to sit and talk. You may not want to even deal with the Navy right now, or your military career. You know, you're kind of done with it. But you're still missing something. You know, I said, it will come. And I said, I'm here for him. I said, I'm here. I want to be here for everybody, because I think if there's 31 years of searching, I mean, you just feel, and I know the guys that have spent any amount of time in the service, served it all, and, you know, they've gone through something that they really want and not feel like they have, or they don't have someone to talk to, or they wish they did, even if they don't understand what they're feeling. They feel alone. They feel like no one else understands what they've been through. And knowing, like I said, I would love to have talked to Rod 31 years ago. I mean, it's amazing just to not, you miss that. I mean, the good and the bad. I mean, there's things you want to bury. There's things you want to forget about, but sooner or later it's going to work itself back to the surface. And to me, I just want everyone to know that we truly are there. Our whole heart is in it. We get nothing out of this but wanting to be there for our fellow brothers and sisters. And it really is truly a brother and sister feeling when, you know, for anyone that comes, I would just love to have them come down. Like I said, next July, we'll have the grand opening for the lodge. I would love to have everybody, you know, get on our Facebook page, be watching, and you will see it's going to be amazing. I mean, we've got so many veterans that are missing that. Yeah, I mean, I coached for 20 years as well. And a lot of my athletes that I've coached went on to the service, and then they've contacted me after they've seen that we had that big work day, and they're still searching. I mean, you can see it in their eyes, you know, and I just tell them, just come down, hang out a bit. You know what I mean? It'll just amaze you that we're not asking for anything. We don't want anything. We just want to be there for them. And there's enough of, you know, just people out there that want to help as well. And if they can't do it, they can help us financially, so that we can continue helping anyone that's needing us.
Well, we encourage you all to take a look at Heroes, Healing at English River Outfitters, because it sounds like they're doing a really great job. And thank you all for joining us today. Check out our website, ahealthyiowa.org, for more information. And keep your eye on MediaCom MC22 for our next episode of Surviving Bad, where we explore stories of survival, hope, and inspiration. On MediaCom MC22, your local programming leader.